I'm Margaret in Windsor, and I wanted to, part of my tapes I didn't get up. I didn't have time. Anyway, I'm not going to explain that I put up this morning. But I had a response from one, I think he's a subscriber to, not the one named Scott, but he asked me, was I sure it was role playing? Yes, I am. Very sure. I'm going to turn this around. Oh, I've tried to piece it together, and I don't know if it's not brought before a court. And at this point, it would take an army to take me home, or it's been well planned out, because people are so absorbed in Elizabeth, and they really, and in this country too, they really don't care that she did all this and about my father. They really don't. Now then, if I can think, I've here and I've got a inner ear. Well, not inner ear. It's I'm allergic to chemicals, and they've tarred the roof up here, so I'm just about dead, quite frankly. And let me see if I can go back and think. It affects me. My immune system, so I'm feeling pretty rough at the time. Let me just take a couple of things out of here. It gets to be ongoing, so you really have to wonder who orchestrated it all. First of all, if I'm kidnapped and brought to Moulton, Alabama by the Kennedys, and you can look up and see that Franklin Roosevelt appointed Joe Kennedy, the father, ambassador to England, 36, the year my father became king, and he was married to my mom. Now that you can't find except on my videos, because the Church of England got in on the takedown. Winston Churchill, and I've forgotten the prime minister at the time, but the Kennedys, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds. The Rothschilds were kin to Elizabeth's mother too, and they're control your banking really since then, but now especially. So anyway, here you've got me writing the book, and I won't go back in all of it, but you got, and I hate to say this because, it, and I'm not sure I should, except it's things you can check out. Philip, when I was kidnapped and brought there, about 4 years later, yeah, Philip was brought there. They named him Philip. So I guess to be quite a coincidence, and the twins, where they put me, were both killed. I've put all this up, and they gave me Peggy's name. Now then, you get into the father. The twins were born out of wedlock. The father married Geneva, a woman named Geneva. Now you get into what I'm telling after I found out my real name and started researching the Geneva Accord. You get into the illegal treaties that my father wouldn't sign, go along with the Illuminati. So they took him down, took my mama, erased history for practical purposes here, if you call it practical, and gave the monarchy, the Illuminati did, illegally, to George VI, and thus Elizabeth, and they've all known it. So it's almost like, how can people love someone who is totally flaunted having my money, my position, while I'm over here? JFK Jr. came up on the trail when I was starving and freezing, and that can be dated. It's the year the new portion of the trail was put up to Full Heart Knob from where Mountain Pass Road in Troutville joins Lee Highway, almost at the post office there. So that was probably in 94, early spring. He came up there, and JFK did, Jr., with his, would that be his nephew or cousin? His cousin. Anthony, I think, was his name. They came up, and they, in practical language here, they taunted me. I'm up there, I've lived, I've starved. So they were aware of what was happening to me. Came up, and they had the backpacks on, and so they came just to see how they had made me live. They took out their peanuts. They knew I'd starved. I'm talking to them. At least I got to tell them what I thought of them before they left. So I'm going to say something here that people get mad at me. It's the weirdest thing. It's unbelievable. When people do me dirty, and dirty doesn't even cover it, it's sick. Really sick, especially if you lay all of it out. It'll be overwhelming. And people, well, oh no, I didn't know. They'll start saying they didn't know all this, excusing it. Anyway, I told about mind control murders, about the Tesla files, and you could cure illnesses, and they could create them. They could make deaths appear of natural cause, etc. And I even listed them and listed Jack Hartsfield's name and all this. I can't just come up with all this, for God's sake. But if I haven't lost my train of thought here now, I feel so bad. I can't take tar on top of the roof, plus the other stuff. So I probably have lost my train of thought, and I need to just stop and put this up for today. So it's almost like tracks being laid down if you get into it, like the Geneva Accord and Philip, and there's a lot of other stuff there. So where'd I get to? The Kennedys. JFK Jr. came up here. There's certainly got to be a record somewhere there. But then I'm going to tell you this. This is what I was writing about the Tesla files. You can cure an illness or create one. And how do you prove it? I wonder how many people, I know 4 that I've always thought maybe they were going to bring those into court. And then you can't deny it. These you cannot deny. You can sit there all day long and you can't deny these. Okay. Whether they do, I don't know. That would be the one that would the public would get riled up about. Now then, where am I? I was going to go back to what? JFK, there was things done to me and my son that is so hideous. They were done right here in this country. And people, it is weird how they treat me. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear about my sons. It is odd. And they try to blame me, the victim. But anyway, I'm going to say this. Remember, they can cure an illness or create it. And I had lists of it. Jack Hartsfield had lists. He was FBI. He couldn't get it published. They wouldn't, because you're going up against the people that kidnapped me, the Illuminati, and my own family. But so you have to wonder what kind of person Elizabeth is that grabs it and runs with it. And she's certainly known about my kidnapping, who my mother is. My father married my mom, a double married Wallace. She knows all of this. She stood by and knows how I've been treated here, about my sons who are heirs after me. And she has no intention. She has used the media. They send videos to NBC, and I guess if they send pictures and video there all the time, they send it to all the media, and the Illuminati controls it. So here's all this hoopla over it. Can you imagine the wedding, how much the gowns cost? Can you imagine if by the grace of God, whoever, it come up and compared what's happened to the real monarch and my father, and then you show her, this woman who's part of knows all of it. Let me put it this way, and she's illegal, and how she spread the money out, has no intention ever mentioning my name. To the world, I know she's ingrained herself with all the hypes and money, and my family I hope there's some still left that don't like the way they've done. It's not even the monarchy. Now I'm getting away from the JFK Jr. JFK left, and with his backpack and his food, didn't offer me. In essence, he come up to see how they had made me live. I want to say this, and you can get from it what you want to, or JFK married a twin, so you get twins that are in all this. One of the twins that he married, I believe, was named Caroline, like his sister, Caroline Kennedy. But the point is that he was, the twin thing is involved, but I wouldn't need that. He was in a plane, and I don't know if the other twin was in there. I don't think so. But anyway, he went down in the plane July was it the 19th? And I'm not going to mention the connection there. I'm just not. Was it 99? You can Google it. Okay, August the 12th, the following August the 12th, not that many, 3 weeks later, his nephew, who is Jackie Kennedy, JFK Jr.'s mom, her sister is Bouvier that married Radswell, that I don't really think he was royalty, but anyway, they had the title of princess and all that. Her son was the cousin that was up there on the mountain with JFK Jr., taunting me. And he, on that date, a few days after JFK Jr. went down, he had developed cancer, and he died then. On that, the 12th of August, I believe, which is about 3 weeks later. I could go on and show you connections, but the Brits have told me I could get a DNA if I could get one, if I could pay for it. But that somebody, do you think with all they've done to me and high profile as it is, that I would get a DNA, a correct one back? I mean, it's not like people don't know it. They do, especially here and in Huntsville, Alabama, and in Atlanta. So anyway, I'm going to stop here, at least for right now. My ears and head, I've lost part of my hearing anyway, got it back now, like I'm going to lose it again. So anyway, that's it, and I hope, if this doesn't go off, when I'm talking about the murders that happened here in the Roanoke area, let me put it that way, the evidence there you can't deny. Nobody can. I hope and pray I live to see it done, and I see Elizabeth and that whole bunch stripped. They've done everything to me and watched it and enjoyed this life they've lived off of me. So to handcuff that woman, her husband, that whole bloody bunch, that would be the least of it. So I hope that, I'm still hoping that it's told and I get to see all of it done. The crown and all this that they think, and the money they stole and the homes, what they did to a beautiful man, my father and my mom, and then to me and my children, they've stood by and watched it. And then the other day when they announced the arrival of the new baby, the town crier said, "In God save the Queen." She's not the Queen, let me remind you. She's a fake.